YouTube, what's the deal?
One love.
YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back. Back to offer up a call to action to all of my subtastics and to everyone who may see this video. I'm not going to give y'all a whole lot of preface. I'm just going to jump right into it, and we will take it from there because, y'all, we got some serious work to do. So, picture it. The early 1990s, about 20 years ago, in Cook County, Illinois, a group of 5 young men, teenagers at the time actually, were arrested for and charged with the rape and murder of a 30-year-old woman. They were convicted and sent to jail, where they remain today. Now picture another 5 men, teenagers, the early 1990s, 20 years ago, Cook County, Illinois, arrested and charged with the rape and murder of a 14-year-old girl. They were convicted, 3 were sent to jail. So we've got 2 groups, people, and both of the convicted felons in these 2 groups are still incarcerated today. Now here's the twist. DNA evidence recently unearthed that the men accused and convicted of raping these 2 women conclusively states that they could not have done it. They could not have committed the crime at hand. These are in both groups of individuals. So they have been exonerated of their crimes. And yet, they remain in jail. That's the way it's going down, y'all. So, this information is coming to you courtesy of alternet.org. And of course, I am including the link to the actual story below. But this is absolutely amazing to me. The circumstances on both of these cases, while they are separate, they're very, very similar. In both groups were teenage men. Both groups were accused of the rape and murder of these women in the same county in Illinois, convicted. DNA evidence is now conclusively stating that they could not have committed this crime. And yet they remain in jail. The state's attorney's office, according to this article, has downplayed the importance of the new DNA evidence, and there has been no sign of any immediate action to be taken. These 2 cases have been dubbed the Inglewood 5 and the Dixmoor 5. They've inspired a great deal of activism. There is a petition online which I am urging each and every one of you to sign. I've already done so. And the petition targets the office of the state's attorney, Anita Alvarez, asking her to overturn these convictions. Y'all, this has not been done yet. And for me, in a world that seems to be overflowing with arbitrary and senseless acts of violence, when you're actually blessed enough to be dealing with innocent people, it's something that should be celebrated, not slept on. Bear in mind, y'all, these were teenagers. Now, the one thing I haven't mentioned that I need to mention now is that in both cases, the teenagers involved confessed to the crime. In both cases, the teenagers, oh my goodness, what was the name of the Inglewood 5 and the Dixmoor 5, they confessed and then later recanted. And yet, they were convicted anyway, as a result of what people are now saying was coercion. And it's a huge, there's a quote in here, as you know, not a trace of physical evidence connects any of these men to the respective crimes. The only evidence against the teenagers is the confessions extracted by police. Confessions which have now been proven false. Sadly, coerced false confessions play a part in almost a quarter of all wrongful convictions, and teenagers are particularly susceptible to falsely incriminating themselves during questioning from police. I want y'all to bear this in mind. These were teenagers when they went into custody in the early 1990s. These are now grown men in their 30s. We're talking 20 years later for a crime that it is cut and dry because Miss Dana, don't lie, they did not commit. I'm jumping over to the next page. This is not going to be a really long, drawn-out video, y'all, because quite frankly, the sooner you get this petition signed, the better off I'll feel. The sooner, God willing, they'll be freed. Y'all saw what we helped accomplish in Uganda, so I know that we can do it again. That's what I know. I love my subtastics. The color of change email. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm reading this. And again, in the email that I am assuming is part of the petition to be sent forward to the state's attorney's office, it says coercive interrogation practices must come to an end. Ensuring the release of these men wouldn't just help correct a gross injustice, it would send a message to law enforcement that they can't get away with forcing teenagers to confess to crimes they didn't commit. This practice of coercion compromises the entire public's safety. I can't even begin to imagine what these men's families must have gone through all of these years. So, YouTube, Facebook, anybody who sees this and wherever you may end up seeing it, now is the time. It starts and it ends with us. We are so capable of affecting change, and I encourage everybody to attempt to do so in this particular situation. I love all of you. Petition is below. Sign, sign, sign. Let's get these men where they belong, and that's home. It might not happen like this all the time, but I'm telling you, the same way DNA evidence is capable of convicting, DNA evidence is capable of exonerating. And just as an afterthought, y'all, if you thought that it couldn't get any worse than what I've just told you in terms of this story, get this one. Not only did DNA evidence exonerate these men from the crimes that they were accused of, they also implicated 2 other men, 1 man for each group of individuals that were arrested separately, one of whom is a suspected serial killer. I mean, I'm telling you, it's not just the fact that it's not these guys, it's the fact that it's someone else, someone who is already in the system, someone they have identified. And these men remain behind bars. It is absolutely, without question, reprehensible to me that we are living in a time where innocent men are sitting in overcrowded prisons and the guilty walk the streets free. It is unconscionable to me, and we've got to do something about it. Petition below. Let's get this thing banged out. Bring those men home. For your sake, for my sake, for those men's sake, their family's sake, and for all of our sakes. Because this could easily be your son. This could easily be your brother, your father, your husband, or your daughter, sister, wife. It's just that simple. What happened to them, we're not so unique that it couldn't happen to us. Let's bang this out and get it done, y'all. I'm gone for now. And with that being said, as always, one love. Bring them home.